guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. Today we're diving into another Peachy Queen palette, and this one I am really excited about because it is called We Are All Mad Here. And if you can't recognize that face, that is the cat from Alice in Wonderland. So we're going to dive into this palette right now. This palette costs $33.95 on her website. Most of you guys know I do have a discount code with Peachy Queen. It is ChrisMo. It'll save you 15% at checkout, which will bring it down to about $28. The sleeve for the palette looks just like the palette itself, both front and back, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive into the details of the palette. The palette is not super thick, it's not super thin as well. It does have some weight to it. This weighs about 20 grams. It is cruelty-free, paraben-free, mineral oil-free, and it is also gluten-free. This has a 12-month shelf life. It is made in the PRC, aka China, and it does contain talcum mica. The palette does have a magnetic closure, which honestly is pretty strong. So when you open up the palette, it looks like this. Look at this color story. It does come with a nice size mirror that can fold all the way back. So I'm just going to bring this color story up close. And I'm going to try to avoid my ring light. Sorry, you guys. But this is what it looks like. Are there any colors that are jumping out at you? Let me know down below. So here are the pre-recorded swatches. Each of the swatches that you see are done 2 times. All of them do feel smooth. The shimmers are also really nicely pressed in there. One thing I do want to mention was that wrong way, this purple down here at first felt a little bit rough, but I do use this shadow today, and going in with a finger now, it's not rough at all. So it might have just been the surface of it and not the actual shadow. I just wanted to point that out because that was rather interesting. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know how much I love Peachy Queen palettes. I've been reviewing her palettes for quite some time, but I must be honest with you guys, as always, some of the shadows in here didn't swatch the best. However, a swatch is a swatch and it can be so deceptive at times. Sometimes swatches can look hideous, but they look gorgeous on the eyes and they're super pigmented. Now, it doesn't swatch horrible, so I want to show you guys wrong way because that's one of them that didn't swatch the best, but I did use it today and it does look gorgeous. I want to take Tricks because I don't use her. Oh, that feels so nice. And I'm going to take Poison, which is just so beautiful. Here we go. This is one. Look at that. So you see what I mean in terms of swatch? I'm going to try to smooth that out a little bit more. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you can see what I'm saying. It's just, it looks like it's going to be a little bit patchy just based on the swatch. Again, swatch is a swatch. Doesn't mean anything sometimes, at least. It can give you an idea, but with that particular shadow, I can tell you it doesn't mean anything. This one looks gorgeous. I love that one. I honestly wanted to use it so bad, but I was going for this particular look that didn't include this color, but oh my god, how gorgeous is that shadow? Okay, the last one. Let's show you this one. Spread this out. Look how gorgeous. Woo! That is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love that one. So as I said, I do use this one in the eye demo. I wanted to use that one on purpose, not really because it's purple. Yes, purple is my favorite color, but because it looked the sketchiest out of all of the swatches. So I wanted to test out the one that I thought would possibly hiccup, but it didn't. So before we dive into the eye demo, let's talk about the formula really quick. Like her other eyeshadow palettes, this formula does have a beautiful execution. The colors are buildable, they are pigmented, and I didn't have a difficult time blending. Out of 12 shadows, I used 8 of them today, which isn't so bad. It's not too shabby for Chris. For brushes today, I'm using a little bit of everybody. I have the Alter Ego brush. I have a few Morphe brushes. I also have a BH Cosmetics 4 brush, which I use for highlighter. And then I use the double-ended brush from GLF Cosmetics. Now, I do use one of these brushes by accident, and I'll explain more in the eye demo, which will start right now. So first things first, I lay down the Kylie Cosmetics Maple Concealer on the lid, and of course I pat it in. First shade I'm going to pick up is Wrong Way, which is the purple that I mentioned earlier. And by accident, I used the Morphe M505 brush. I did not mean to use this brush, and I realized it as I was putting it on the lid. So although this is a good brush, I wanted to have something just a little bit more tapered. So I put this one back, and I went back in with the Alter Ego brush. And I just put that out of V, and I bring it towards the inner corner of my eye. Next, with the Morphe x Coca-Cola brush, I go in with Wicked. I put this right above Wrong Way and slightly on top of it as well, just to lighten it up so it's not a complete harsh line. And I do it all around the entire edge of it. Next, I cut my crease with the flat end of the GLF Cosmetics brush. I don't go all the way out into a dramatic wing. However, I do continue a little tiny wing out. I don't normally do this, but today I just want to do a little something fancy. I use the opposite end of the GLF Cosmetic brush, and I go in with Darkest Hour. This is a shimmer shade, so honestly, I don't know why I went with the fluffer side of the brush. I should have just stuck to the flat end. Point is, the blue is gorgeous and it is pigmented. I would definitely suggest using a finger when applying Darkest Hour. It is absolutely stunning. It's still beautiful with a brush, but I mean, if you really want that high intense payoff, go with a finger. Before moving on to the next color, I do go back in with Wrong Way just to blend out the edges of Darkest Hour. And right next to Darkest Hour, I use the flat end this time and I go in with Time. Because other than that burnt orange colored Tricks, this was the first color that I saw in this palette. It is gorgeous and pigmented as well. For the remainder of the lid, I go in with Madness. So at first I use a brush which honestly didn't show the shadow as well as it should. It might have been the specific brush that I was using, but for me, I'd rather just go in with a finger if I know it's going to work. So I went in with a finger and lo and behold, of course, it showed up and it is stunning. Then with the Morphe 158 brush, which is technically an eyebrow brush, can I just say, I like to use these sometimes to put color into like a cut crease line depending on what type of thing I'm doing. So I went in with Moonlight and I put that all across and into that kind of cut wing that I talked about earlier. For my lower lash line, I go back in with Wrong Way, except this time I go in with the JH42 brush and I just sweep that from the outer corner all the way into the inner corner of my eye, going back and forth. Underneath Wrong Way, using the same brush, I go in with Forest, which is also a shimmer, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue shimmer that I honestly thought about putting all across the lid. The name Forest, I wouldn't think would be a blue, but hey, I don't really care. It's gorgeous. For my inner corner highlight, I went back in with my JH42 brush and I picked up Time. And then on top of that, I went back in with Madness. For the brow bone highlight, I went lightly in with Moonlight. Moonlight is heavily pigmented. Moonlight and Madness to me are kind of dupes for the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Extreme Frost, that one that was like super duper expensive, where he was like, if you tap it, it's more like glitter and it's a super strong highlight. That's what the formula of these remind me of. And to prove my point, I do go in with a BH Cosmetics number 4 brush and I pick up Fright and I put that on my cheekbone, which is honestly gorgeous all on its own. It's glowing, it's beaming. But then I went with my finger back in with Madness and I just lightly tap it with my finger and I put it right on my cheek. And look at this, you guys. I'm obsessed. After that, I slapped on some liner, mascara, and lashes, and that completes my look, you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. All the items finally arrived for the 5K giveaway, so I'm going to be launching that in the next video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you guys have a really great one. Stay safe, and I love you guys as always. Bye.